I'm from Utah and I moved to Idaho Falls about 3 years ago. And when I moved here, I had the opportunity to start to get to know some of my cousins that I really didn't know all that well. And one of them in particular, he is about 10 years older than me, and we have different backgrounds. He had a really hard life growing up, and it never went away when he got older. There were certain decisions that he made that kept him off the path, I guess is what you would say. And I remember one day I was super stressed out. My family wasn't living here. I was trying to figure out what to do with my job, with school, just trying to figure out all that stuff. And out of the blue, he texted me and he asked if I wanted to go to lunch. And that was something that we didn't really do. And so I said yes. And we went out to lunch and we were sitting there. We were just at this little pizza cafe here in town. And he could tell that there is something going on in my head, that I just had a lot of stress and worries and fears. And if you know me, that is nothing new, but for whatever reason at this point in time, I was really having a hard time. And for some reason, this question was brought up and he said to me, are you worried about dying? And I remember looking at him and I was like, what? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, I guess. And he's not religious at all. And he let me know he was not scared at all today. That he knows when his time is come, that that's his time to go. And he told me that he lives every day like it's his last day. And I feel like you always hear that quote. And it's sometimes really hard to live that. And with everything that was going on in that moment, with everything in my life, when he asked me that question and then explained to him that he lives every day like it's his last day, it really, really hit me hard. And it hit me even harder a few months later when he passed away. Just unexpected. And I remember thinking back to that time that we were sitting at that table. And when he asked me, are you afraid to die? And it was kind of just like a random, question. But what he taught me after, when he said that he lives every day like it's his last, is something that I'll never forget. He has taught me so much, even though he's not here anymore. And every time I think of him, I think of our lunch date. And he taught me two super important lessons that I always remember. One lesson is that living in fear steals your time. And we all know that time is precious. And so to live in fear and worry about things, it doesn't do any good. And so that was the one lesson that he taught me that I try so much harder to remember, that living in fear steals your time. And the second lesson that he taught me that I learned, and I know it sounds almost stupid, is that we're all gonna die. And even if that wasn't the fear that I had on my mind, it was realizing that one day our time is gonna come to an end, and we have from now until then, which we don't know when it is, to enjoy life and to not miss the things that happen along the way. And so those are two very important lessons that he taught me in a pizza cafe that I never even thought we'd be having that kind of conversation. And I'm super grateful for that. And there is a quote that I love, and ever since our conversation, it has always stood out to me. And it's something that I now have as my phone wallpaper, and it's something that I hope that you'll always remember too and take away from my experience and what I learned. That quote is, stop worrying about what could go wrong and get excited about what could go right.